Congrats on the show. You guys really kind of...
Oh, thanks, man.
It started strong, but you guys kind of redefined yourself as it's gone on, and it's exciting to watch you kind of, hone in on what works. It's, kind of like...
It's a process.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, can you kind of like, I don't know, can you kind of assess like, where because the show's changed so much in just a short period of time. Can you kind of tell us where it is right now in your mind, where it's going, and,
definitely.
and what the focus is on at this point?
The show started off being a bit more crime of the week, and we've moved more and more to a serialized storytelling where we really started to now want to tell like just a crime saga. It's really much more the story of the city told through these crimes and things that are happening, but it's not.
It's more character driven.
It's far more character driven. Like at the beginning, you had like in episodes 2, 3, 4, and a few more, 5, and 6. Like those are like the case that began in an episode and ended in that episode, and we just kind of like stopped doing that more or less altogether. There will still be cases, but then they kind of bleed over into other stories and what have you, and they're multi-episode arcs. So we're really telling, to become like a real crime saga. I mean, that's the most fundamental way to do it. And we wanted Gordon less like a body landing, and he investigates the murder throughout the course of that. And it's become more and more as well. There's like the story of the city, the city that needs Jim Gordon to save it, and then he ends up having to like create a Batman. Where else is it going? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, will we see more of that city? Will we kind of learn more about the rules under which Gotham operates? Because we've sort of been learning on the fly.
Yeah, I hope so. I think you learn more by the end of this season, and then next season the nature of the city changes dramatically. Okay. The nature of the villains that Gordon is going to have to end up facing changes dramatically. So you want to watch, you want to think like the city's not in stasis. You're actually watching the evolution of it as it gets to a point where it actually needs a guy to put on a cape and a mask in order to save it. So it's like, you watch like in Breaking Bad, you watch Walter White go from chemistry teacher to Scarface. You're going to watch Gotham begin in a bad place and go to a place that's got to be much, much worse. And actually Batman is going to be needed to save.
And how does Jada Pinkett Smith leading the show, how does that affect things, the absence of Fish Mooney in season 2?
I mean, it affects it in a huge way. I mean, Jada was an incredibly strong character. She brought a great female presence to the show, like a really strong female character that we're going to have to like fill that role in some way. I mean, you can't replace Jada, but we do need that energy and that voice in the show, So we're designing a few different options for that character right now. A lot of it will be dependent on who we end up casting, and we'll try to tailor that character to them. Again, it will not be, that character won't be a named DC villain. It'll be like Fish Mooney, a new creation that we can place in that world.
Now, for the show, do you have sort of like a blueprint, like the Bible, basically? Because obviously Bruce is quite young right now, and he is.
He gets bigger every day.
Yeah,
you watch like the pilot. You watch these recent
bigger.
episodes. He's like that much taller.
Alfred is, grooming him, and he's working with Jim, and he's getting on the board and things. Do you have a plan on how he's truly going to become? Are you going to fast forward time?
Yeah, we got a plan.
Obviously, you can tell us a lot about it.
Plan-ish. We generally think we know we want to go. Like we have like big signposts that we want to hit in every year. I mean, we haven't really planned out more than like a few years in advance because you never really know what's going to happen in this world. But we kind of have places we can't go. And things that we definitely want to hit on the way. So, yes is the short answer.
In regards to that, do you have a ending in mind for the series? Is this something where there is a definite end point, or do you see it able to continue continuously with the popularity of the show?
In all honesty, we've never really discussed that.
Okay.
Yeah. Bruno might have something in his mind he's never told us.
Okay.
Which I believe, but no, we've never really talked about that.
So, what kinds of Batman, or I guess overarching DC plot lines, would you use if there were no restrictions on what you could use for the show?
But there really are very few restrictions given to us. I mean, Jeff Johns and the guys at DC have been incredibly flexible and just generous by saying, use what you want, even to the point of saying, yeah, we know that that character has to be alive when Batman is alive to do this. He's like, oh, hell, you can kill him. So he's actually been very, which is actually really going to help us. You'll see in the last few episodes, these characters who everyone's going to expect to survive, and some of them don't survive, but then you can reinvent the name in some other way, which I think creates a great sense of danger in our world. We're because you can't
be sure.
Yeah, you can't be sure of anybody. But yeah, I don't think there's anybody in that world who we would want to use that we can't use. Like, you won't be seeing like Man-Bat on the show, you know, but I'm not sure we'd
Calendar Man.
want to. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like Calendar Man. I would bring Calendar Man back. So, no, there's not really been anything that we would want to do that we kind of can't do. I mean, you know,
Right.
and how you solve like tricky issues, like how you solve the Joker issue, and the fact that his creation is tied to Batman is an interesting problem to solve, and hopefully you solve it in a way that would make it satisfying for everybody.
Sure.
And have you seen the Joker now? Is that that's still to be determined, right? Okay.
John.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
you guys. Appreciate all the